At the entrance to the allotment now, so let's just have a quick look along. If we pan along here, we can see the privet hedge in front, which is all mulched around, and behind the privet hedge the comfrey are starting to peek out now. Let's have a very quick look. Where are we? There we are, comfrey all the way along here. So they'll be they're pretty vigorous, so they'll be coming on soon and probably getting some flowers for the bees. Behind those comfrey I might plant a few flowers. It has to be something quite tall, quite vigorous. This plant over here, oops, there we go. Don't quite know what it is, but it's in the middle of what I'm going to do is keep as a path along here. So, and I will wood chip that path, but for the time being, I'm just going to leave that plant in there. It's quite well established, quite big, edit flowers, so I quite like it. The hedge is starting to come back to life as well, so let's just have a quick look at the hedge. I've pruned that hawthorn hedge quite heavily this year, but I think it'll do quite nicely. As we look across, you can see I've put lots of wood mulch around, and I've got some agricultural fleece there which is covering up some broad beans which are yet to come through, and in that bed there'll be broad beans at this end here. This will be broad beans, and then if we go along this bed, I'm yet to put some peas in this section here. Behind that there's a path, and there's a path that goes up beyond the pond there, and I've curved that and kind of tried to landscape it a little bit. This area here is flattened, so that's nice and level. Quite clay soil, taken all of the topsoil off, and I think I'll plant some sort of wildflower seeds there, so there'll be a nice little band that goes along here through the pond, and into that sort of grass section up there, which will be kind of left hopefully quite wild. So that'll be a middle section through the allotment. If we look further up, we've got the gooseberries here. I've pruned those quite heavily and mulched around them, and then there's a kind of a few, that's another comfrey which has sprung up, and then there's some kind of, I don't know what these might be, some kind of weeds, or certainly they're plants that I'm not thinking of keeping long term. Some nettles here which are fine for the time being, no problems with that. Okay, so moving along, let's look at the other side now. Yeah, you can see I've really pruned the roses very hard, which I think I've talked about previously, and I've mulched around the roses there. At least I can distinctly see what the roses are now, just showing you along. So roses and a gooseberry in there. Here's the gooseberry, which is looking pretty vigorous. It's got a few flowers on it, so hopefully there'll be some gooseberries on there. However, because that gooseberry was hidden in the hedge last year, I think mice and rats left it alone, but this year they might strip it. A little hawthorn at the end there, which has been very heavily kind of cut back, but hopefully that'll make it nice and solid. That's wood and wood storage up here, and then in this front bed I've put in a bit of so this front bed along here I've put in some some organic matter, and then covered it with wood chips, and at a later stage I'll scrape back some of those wood chips and plant in cabbage and lettuce in that bed. Beyond that there's a very thin bed along here which I had nasturtiums last year, which did very, very well, and they got everywhere, and Alison didn't like having them everywhere, so I'll probably put something else in there this year, but flowers again. In the bed beyond that, here, this bed here, which has got wood chips on it, and I'll put some more wood chips over the top. I've planted potatoes, two varieties, Nicola and King Edwards. Okay, if we move up the path, let's have a very quick look. There is obviously a little bit of just some rather pots with dead things in there, and there's definitely some frog spawn in the pond. Hard to see from this angle, but frog spawn in the pond, obviously a bit of pond weed and all that kind of stuff. Kind of a froggy kind of animal home at the back here. Sort of turning around. There's the gooseberries, daffodils. These are elder trees here, which I've cut right back and will eventually take out. This stone pile, at a later stage I will probably aim to move, But anyway, that's there now, and that's got sort of decent soil underneath. Going across, rather fast. Sorry if I'm making people a bit seasick. We've got the old alliums, which I haven't removed yet. New ones coming through underneath. So new alliums coming through underneath. Here they are. Bees liked them very much last year. A few dandelions, not bad for the bees. And the daffodils are at the front there. This area here is grassed, obviously, but later in autumn, I think what I'll do is I'll plant bulbs in through the grass as well. So I'll leave it grassed, but I'll plant bulbs in, so that will provide early spring food and stub through into the summer for the bees. This is the leeks left over from last year. They'll still be fine. Drew some artichokes, which I do need to dig out. Haven't done that yet, but they'll probably be okay. And this is the walking stick kale, the permanent kale, which was very badly attacked, but I've kind of caged it off, and it's got nice new growth, so I think that'll be fine. Just neighbour's hedge. Quite a nice yellow flower in there that the bees seem to like. That's from the neighbour. Buddleia in there, which I will prune back a little bit more before it grows. This, can't remember what it's called, but you know, that's a sort of a permanent hedging plant. This bed down here, a couple of beds down here. What have we got in here? Well, a bit of a mess really. I know there is horseradish in there somewhere, which again I'll need to dig out and reduce in size. This is some kind of thistle here, I think. So yeah, that bed needs probably a bit of attention. Going up here, so I've tried to sort out this area a bit more. Again, mulch really heavily everywhere, but I will plant in these beds. I'll scrape the mulch back. I've kind of made a little area next to the shed, which I kind of will work on and maybe store more stones up there. There's a bed up here, which I've just covered. I'm going to dig out this thing here, which is a sycamore that's self-seeded. I've cut it down last year, but I'm going to dig out the root, and then that'll be a bed. I think probably to put flowers in will be nice. I'd like to move the neighbour's compost bin if he'll let me up further up the top there, so it's out of the way. And I've got, this is all lavender, which I pruned back very hard last year, but we have got new growth coming through, so you know it will come, I think, I hope. I've actually planted some nettles in there, probably rather foolish of me, but I just sort of thought I will keep a little bit of nettles in there, again for caterpillars and bees and the like. Apple trees, all fine. Prune very hard, but I think they'll come through. But you can see I've got beds in between these apples, so underneath all that wood mulch, which I need to level off, there's a bed there, a bed there. This bed's got nettles in. Another bed over there. I probably think I'll put nettles in it, but maybe it's crazy. Another bed there, and another bed over there. So again, this year I might just put flowers in those beds. This is the hedge all along here. There's obviously a few weeds in there which I will have to take out. That's the lavender hedge. And over here there are, in this little bed here, there's some poppies up here, but obviously I'll plant more poppies, I think, and more flowers, sorry. Along here in front of the shed, I think I'll plant tall nasturtiums, possibly, sunflowers, possibly as well. What else have we got? Fruit trees, pear coming back, brilliant, no problems with that. Another pear coming back, brilliant, no problems with that. Plums, Victoria plums, all fine. Stella cherry, dead, sad. Raspberries at the back along here. Probably could plant in another couple of raspberries just in here, but we'll just sort of see how we go, and I'll probably let the birds get them this year, not too bothered. More raspberries there. I lived up, looking up into the wild cherry tree. We're getting a bit of blossom, not blossom yet, but we're just getting a little leaf there, and it's coming into bud, so that'll be nice. Coming back down again, let's have a look along. Oh yeah, I've been sort of organising a bit more along here, mulching a lot with wood chips and sort of suppressed weeds, and make paths kind of cleared along here, along this part here, so I'll probably put a flower border here at some point. This is where all the sort of the more messy stuff happens, but well, you know, it's fairly tidy, but you know what I mean. I've got all these sticks which are kind of useful. This is kind of compost under here, or stuff composting and rotting down. It's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of just a pile of stuff really, not really chopped that fine, but it will have some nice stuff in the bottom. These are getting a bit more full of compost coming across. Stinky water in that blue bucket, where I've blue water bucket where I'm sort of drowning leaves and all that, drowning perennial weeds. Makes kind of a bit of a tea, I suppose. Leaf mould in there. Base of the wild cherries sort of mulched around there. I've made another kind of compost bin here which I've yet to fill. Let's go around the back here. Oh, lots of daffodils out. That's quite nice. Sorting these things out at the moment, just cutting things, wood down. Let's have a look. Trying to sort of thread a bit of the ivy through the fence there so it grows up the fence. Slightly sad looking star jasmine there, I'm afraid, but it's still alive, I think. Let's have a look through. A few more things in here. Where have we got? Oh yes, magnolia just in here that Mum got me and Alison, so that's lovely. There's a peony here, but never really flowered, don't think it gets enough sun. Another little sad star jasmine through in the back there behind that one, probably not enough sun there, but yeah, it is there, and it isn't dead yet, but you know, it's very dry actually at the moment. I do need to kind of have a bit of a water. I think I'll flood things with a hose probably tomorrow. It's not too late. No, I hope it's not too late. Another, that magnolia here, quite small, choke berry at the back there that Mum got as well. Looking round at the back here, so you know, plenty of nice, well, these daffodils are over, but you know, some nice daffs around. That kind of retaining wood wall there is fairly tidy, but I don't know whether it will take much weight because I want to build up the soil behind it. I'll have to have a bit of a think about that anyway. All the sort of assorted gubbins there. Just going round. Okay. Yeah, these trees are all looking absolutely fine. These lovely apples, which are, you know, obviously I'm very keen on. It's the russet, but you can see they're all coming into sort of leaf, so they're absolutely fine. Sort of shed, all looking very tidy. Nice little labels that Gemma and the boys did for us. So they're quite sweet. I don't know if you can see that. And then coming back here, here's the sort of the messy bit behind. I've kind of tidied that up by clearing all the sort of old paint and obviously just glass out underneath there, but I've made a big kind of, I don't know, they call it a dead hedge, but it's not really staked or anything, it's just a big pile of cut down twigs and wood, and I'll just leave that, and hopefully sort of things will, you know, have a nice time with it all. About the shed. Okay, so let's turn around and sort of do a kind of a slow pan. Fellow who built the greenhouse there, obviously it's still a greenhouse that our neighbours made, looking very smart and tidy. So there we go. I think that's everything for today. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Bye.